Hello. I've been debating and pondering this for a good while now. The Avengers versus the Justice League. Who would win in a fight? Find out here on Spectrum Reviews channel. Just kidding, it's not about the actual heroes fighting each other. No, what this is about is these two blockbusters going head to head in terms of cinematography, narrative, acting, everything. This is going to be an in-depth review of both of these movies, a comparative review of sorts. By the way, this cover is way better than any of the steelbook covers, and the reason why I have no Marvel steelbooks is because they're all at Walmart, and they're the only steelbooks there are like Logan and stuff like that, which I have yet to pick up because I just don't have the money for Logan right now. But I do like the steelbook a lot though. Very nice and shiny, as you can see. Really nice colors too. This is a nice cover as well. Anyway, enough about the actual aesthetics of the books, the cover arts. Ooh, the actual movies, man. You know, they're a lot more similar than you may think. I watched Justice League yesterday, and I watched the Avengers literally just now. Yeah, they're not the same movie per se, but if Joss Whedon had anything to do with not the Avengers narrative, the Justice League narrative, I'd say he had a lot to do with it. In terms of the similarities, I'm just gonna knock them right out. You have Bruce bringing the Justice League together, right? You have Fury bringing the Avengers together. By the way, if I mix anything up between these two films, I apologize in advance. My brain's on overdrive right now, so yeah. But, so in Justice League you spend, I want to say you're going to spend about, just going to turn that off. Be right back. Alright, we're back. In Justice League, I want to say you spend about, excuse me, I'm picking my nose here. You spend a longer amount of time bringing the heroes together versus the Avengers. In the Avengers, they don't really say no, but they don't really say yes. It's weird because S.H.I.E.L.D. is very pushy. They're very persistent, so they kind of can't say no. Bruce isn't as persistent, but he's still kind of like, hey, this is the end of the world, and we kind of... It's sort of the same thing. Like, it's the same motivation behind Fury and Bruce bringing together the two teams, per se. Got all these trading cards from my Walmart buys of the MCU films, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. And then another thing that's super similar is you have superheroes fighting superheroes in both of these movies. Now, in Justice League is more of a sinister / confused motivation for Superman to fight the League. And in the Avengers, it's more of a, hey, this is my brother, this is my personal vendetta to handle this, and if you guys are going to get in my way, then I'm going to have to fight you. So it's like, Thor's like, this is my property, sort of. This is my agenda, not yours. We don't share this agenda. And yeah, between these two fights, I don't like either fight more than the other. They're both kind of lame, to be honest. I don't know if that's sad to say. They're both just kind of you know, they're just superhero fights, whatever. Now, the actual superhero fight that I like, you all know which one I like, but, you know, I'm going to stop talking about that movie for one of my videos. For once in my life. The thing that's missing from Justice League that I didn't realize until, you know, yesterday, or today, I suppose, there are no triumphant scenes. There are no scenes where you're absolutely rooting for the League to win. Also, I didn't get all the similarities out of the way. Sheesh. The villains are mirror copies of each other, dude. And I'm just gonna say it. I feel like Loki is awful in the Avengers. Just his intro scene. He's so... We have his motivation spread out to us through exposition, but he's so mysterious, and it feels like we don't know him, and it's just... I hate it. At least with Steppenwolf, it's not all dreary and mysterious, and we don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, we do know what Loki... It's hard to explain what I mean. Steppenwolf's just slightly more likable, I feel like. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of people in the comments just trashing me for saying that, but yeah, they're both pretty awful as villains in these movies. Although, respectfully, Steppenwolf has only one appearance in the DCEU, and Loki has multiple. Two, if you're only considering the 2012 era of MCU films. So yeah, it's just... Also, both these villains are commanding alien armies, blah blah blah, they're gonna invade the Earth and take it over and make it their own, whatever. You know, it's the same agenda for both villains, they're literally mirrors of each other. Except Steppenwolf kind of looks cooler than Loki, even though his CG is a lot worse than Loki's partial CG. But, all that aside, yeah, the one thing that I like more about the Avengers is the triumphant scenes, and that's all thanks to the score, I feel like. Justice League's score is... The Flash's piece is really, really good, but the rest is just complete garbage, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. Both these movies are very similar yet very different, even though Joss Whedon had a hand in doing both of them. But instead of the triumphant pieces in Justice League, we get comic book panels, which is pretty dope, to be honest. Like, and what I mean by this is, you take any one of the scenes in the movie, you pause it, it's a comic panel. It's pretty cool. And I think that's all thanks to Zack Snyder. I feel like the reshoots, Whedon tried to get as much of Zack into it as he could. Even though he didn't really give a goddamn about making the movie any better or any more bearable, as he had said in his tweet agreeing with the people who hated Steppenwolf. He made it clear right there that he didn't care about this project in any way, shape, or form, and that's a damn shame, because I like this movie. I don't love it. I don't even think I love this movie now that I rewatched it. But yeah, I kind of feel like if WB respects Zack Snyder in any way, shape, or form, they will release his cut and they will finish the edits. And they will even try to bring him back in to finish his movie at some point. I really hope that happens at some point, but I know he's tied up with Day of the Dead or something like that right now. So yeah. In terms of the heroes, I think the heroes in Justice League, the cinematography helps them a lot, I'll be honest. But the Avengers, they have better humor, I feel like, even though Batman is funny in some scenes in Justice League. Not all the humor lands with me anymore, but Something Is Definitely Bleeding still got me. I still liked that yesterday. But yeah. Now I will say the mischaracterization of Batman is noticeable. I'm not gonna say it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Because he's still, I don't know, he still moves like Batman. Though there's one scene where he's kicking the alien and he's a little slower than usual, and I think that's because it's literally Ben Affleck kicking in a stretchy suit. No CG involved. In BVS there was CG for the cape and some of the suit and the cowl even, in most of the scenes, which was pretty ingenious in my opinion. So I feel like in BVS they may have had a cowl in one take and then no cowl in the other take, and then they just melded them together to get all the movements, you know, nice and smooth. And then in Justice League they were just like, fucking just fucking kick it. Just kick it, it'll be fine. And it just ended up looking so bad. Other than that though, Batman's pretty Batman-y, he's pretty quick, pretty brawlery, you know, pretty good. So Batman's not awful, but he's not great either. I'm not gonna excuse all of it. But the Flash, one of my favorite characters. I like the Flash a lot. I love Cyborg in this movie. Aquaman's pretty enjoyable too. Superman, what little screen time he has, it's enjoyable, even if some of the CG mouth is pretty bad. There are better scenes than others though. Like the opening scene is probably the worst of his CG mouth. I'm not going to review the movie and not mention it. I'm not that much of a Justice League cocksucker, okay? Like, yeah. But Avengers isn't without its flaws either. Like I said, the main problem I have with this film is it's not a grand piece of cinematography. It's the pan around shot's pretty nice. There are some nice shots in it, but Justice League has the direction down. That's simply because of Zack Snyder. Zack's an amazing director, and he knows comics. He's a big comic book fan. Um, I do like the characters in the Avengers, though, even though they have... So, the Scepter scene where they're all turning on each other is really caricature-y. It's really, animated series-esque. It's all... They don't get to be individuals until, you know what I mean? Like, they just don't. They don't start off as individuals. They start off as a melded group of. It's almost a hive mind type of deal because of Fury. Fury is like the hive mind. But in Justice League, from start to finish, they're their own characters. They're their own people, which I like. I like that about that film. It's a real toss up here, and if you melded these two films together, we'd have the perfect superhero film, which is sad because when I say that, I'm saying that I can't pick one over the other. I can't choose which one's worse or which one's better. It's not because I love both of them; it's because I don't love both of them. I don't love either of them. I used to, but rewatching them. There's one scene in Justice League that makes me cry, and that's when Superman re-meets his mother. I love that scene. It's very Zack Snyder-y. That's definitely Zack Snyder. Triumphant scenes in this one are slightly tearjerkery, but I was more viewing it from an analytical standpoint versus a let your brain melt standpoint, which is kind of what I did for this one. I did the let your brain melt thing for that, and then analytical for this one, because I've seen this more than this. Surprise, right? But actually, this is my first time watching my copy of the Avengers yesterday. Or today. So, yeah, what does that tell you? But, yeah. I don't know. I used to love both of these films. It's just hard to say which one I like more. It really came down to it. Because once these characters start being themselves, it's excellent, Like, you have Cap being Cap and just kicking ass, and I love it. Then you have Black Widow and Hawkeye teaming up and just, showing their history together, which I love, too. And then, yeah, it's just... both of these movies are fun, It's just so hard to say. Now, comparing Joker to Venom, Joker's way better than Venom, but that's another video for another day. And with this, it's like they're on the same level, but they're not. It's weird. They're on different levels. Like, they have different terrain. You have two mountains with different terrain. That's what these are to me. Maybe two boroughs with different terrain, not two mountains, because I don't really love them. If it were a movie that I love, mountains, but still. You get the analogy. Different terrain means I like different things about the movies, and yeah. I think that's it. I will say that the Justice League has a better start to the movie, but they both have great endings too. I like how in Justice League it's, I love Everybody Knows, the cover by Sigrid. I love that song a lot. And I like, I like the opening scene. The opening scene is beautiful. I like the slow-mo of the guy being enraged, just kicking over the fruits. And people question this scene and its importance to the story, and they don't realize that this is all because of Superman's death. Like, that's how much it's affected the world. He was a beacon of light to the world for 3 years, give or take. 2 years? Well, still, long enough for Superman to, be recognized as a hero, because Stark was recognized as a hero overnight in the MCU. So, yeah, there you go. But yeah, in terms of the acting, all the actors from both movies are pretty similar. But I feel like in Justice League they have the slight edge because of Henry Cavill, and Ezra Miller's pretty great too. But in terms of Iron Man versus Batman, their acting is pretty similar. You know, it's I don't know, it's just, yeah. But yeah, aesthetically, Justice League is way better. No offense to this movie. This movie's pretty great aesthetically too, but I don't know. Zack just has an edge. But yeah, I don't like either movie more than the other. I'm not gonna say that I do because I don't. And if I did, I wouldn't probably. Actually, I would. I would tell you. But I don't know. I just can't seem to choose. Maybe I don't care about them enough to. I don't like this whole Marvel versus DC spiel that's been going on for the past. I mean, been going on forever, but I've only been noticing it for like a month or two. And it's really toxic, and it's just not cool, man. Like, I have both Marvel and DC films. If you don't like DC, good on you. If you don't like Marvel, good on you. I have everything from Man of Steel to Shazam in terms of DC, and I'm going to get Joker. I'm going to complete my MCU collection, which I have like 8 more movies to go on that. Come on, man. Everyone get along, okay? I even have all the Spider-Man movies. I have Venom and Spider-Verse and all the Transformers movies. It's not hard to not like something and not be a dick about it. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that has been my comparative review on these 2 movies. Justice League and the Avengers. Thank you.